Good morning, everyone. Happy snow day. It is Thursday, December 19th. Lisa, Lydia, Scott with you here. We'll get to your forecast. Lots to talk about there, but of course, first, we'd like to just start by reminding you, we're live on Facebook every weekday morning, but it stays on your feed throughout the day, so you can watch it whenever it works best for you. It's your morning news and weather headlines. We also make it into a podcast. You can find that at inform.com/podcast. Just look for the Inform Minute.
All right, Lydia, where do you want to start?
That's a great question. So snow moved in while you were sleeping. It snowed for a good portion of the overnight. Fargo had a little break from about 5 to 7 a.m., which ironically is exactly when we were on First News.
Yeah.
Just had this little lull in the activity. Other spots did too. Totally normal. Snow is now filling back in, and it's snowing again here in Fargo.
Outside.
So, and it is coming down at a pretty good clip. Off and on snow showers, heavy at times, light at times, break at times, back at times. That's all normal today as the system is passing on through. Snow will continue to break up. The snow showers get smaller. I'd say between about noon and 3, and then largely out of here around supper time tonight, moving on to the Minnesota side. So we will work the snow out. Heaviest snow is going to be this morning. It does get lighter as the day goes on. But in the opposite effect, the wind is going to pick up even more as we head into the afternoon. It's been out of the east-southeast overnight, 10 to 20, gusting 25 to about 30. But as it turns around to the north, it's going to gust 30 to nearly 40 miles an hour and send in the colder air. So your temperatures go backwards then at that point. So the worst of the wind is still to come.
Oh boy.
That's not to say it hasn't been windy this morning, but stronger winds, worse visibility with this light, fluffier snow that's just easily lofted and then blown around, making it hard to see. That is all still expected. Even after the snow stops falling from the sky, blowing snow is still a problem. Through supper time, it's probably gonna settle down late evening into the overnight.
Okay.
By tomorrow morning, the wind is like gone. It turns around to the south, 0 to 10 miles an hour. So that brings the blowing snow threat to an end, but does allow our temperature to fall all the way to -9, -10 by tomorrow morning. Yeah, luckily without a wind, we don't have the blowing snow obviously, but not much for a wind chill factor either. I wouldn't be surprised to see wind chills -10s, -20s, because when it's that cold, it just takes a little whisper to make it feel even colder. Today is also a snow fog kind of day. Yes, that's an actual term. It's when you're driving along and things are really okay. You can see a little bit, there's a little snow on the road, and then somebody goes by you and it lofts it all up and it gives you a temporary whiteout.
Yep.
So snow fog possible today because it is just that kind of a snow where it's drier, it's lighter, it's fluffier. Let's see, a few more inches of accumulation possible where you do end up with those heavier snow showers today, 2, 3, maybe even 4 more inches of accumulation. So we're not done with snowfall accumulation by any means. If you look at the radar, there's still snow into western North Dakota. So all of that has to work its way through us before we get to get rid of this thing. That leaves us again cold for your Friday. There's a chance at a little light snow Friday night into Saturday. I'm becoming less and less impressed with that. 1, maybe 2 inches, brand new dusting as you wake up on Saturday morning. A lot of us miss out on that snow, actually, so that's good news there. I don't expect advisories or warnings or anything with that. Temperatures in the teens on Saturday, 20s Sunday, Monday, 30s next week. With that, I want to give you a heads up because you're going to look at your forecast on the 10-day or on your little app that comes with your phone that we don't like. The crap app, as I like to call it. It looks really nice. It's deceiving though, but a meteorologist, a person, not a computer, is going to tell you that when you get cold ground and now brand new snow on that ground and then warmer air moving in on top of it, that can create fog or drizzle. So when you have warmer air this time of year, it tends to come with that trade-off. That being said, I don't see anything that's going to give us this perfect signal for moisture. I just think there's going to be some fog and some drizzle problems at some point next week, which then of course can lead to travel problems. So I'm not promising perfect travel. I want you to keep checking back with us so you know the latest. I'm just gonna give you an early heads up on maybe some fog, maybe some drizzle for next week.
All right, thanks for the heads up.
All right, gloomy Christmas. Not a white Christmas, not a brown Christmas, gloomy Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, that's all, thanks.
We also do know, I believe there's a ground stoppage for air traffic in Minneapolis this morning now, so that could impact you if you're flying out of MSP or if you have a flight to or from there from Fargo. So
I think,
keep
Lydia,
that
did
in
you
mind.
say there were some delays on arrivals
Yeah. Okay.
at Hector
Yeah.
because of
that.
what's happening in Minneapolis? So yeah, just
Pretty widespread thing. I think Lydia said this thing goes from like us all the way to like Green Bay or something. So very big storm.
And okay, that's flying, driving as well. We've
Yeah.
talked a lot about this. There is a travel alert in place for much of North Dakota right now as we're waking up to this winter storm warning. So if you look at the road map, it's all shaded in purple, but if
Yeah.
you still see red up in the northwestern quarter of North Dakota, no travel advised out there as well. And just icy conditions as well, kind of in the middle of the state. So really not very nice out there. A lot of highways and rural roads remain covered in snow. That includes Highway 10. We got a lot of phone calls this morning
yeah.
asking about Highway 10.
It's a busy one.
So just be aware, once the wind picks up, you're going to have visibility issues, especially out in those open areas as well.
Yeah,
So slow
for
down.
sure. All right, no surprise, because of the winter weather, schools are canceling or starting late because of all the snow. Schools in Grand Forks are on a 2-hour delay this morning. All classes are actually canceled on the Air Force Base. East Grand Forks calling it an e-learning day. That's the same with Detroit Lakes, that are having a flex learning day. A lot of other rural school districts throughout the area have either delayed or canceled classes for today.
And despite the weather, MSUM staff say they are ready for today's commencement ceremonies. It's going to be a busy day on campus
Yeah.
today. They have 3 graduation ceremonies scheduled at the Hanson Theater inside the Roland Dill Center for the Arts. The first one at 9:30 this morning for the College of Business Analytics and Communication, followed by the College of Arts and Humanities and the College of Education and Human Services starting at 1 o'clock. Then students from the College of Science, Health, and Environment will walk from 3:30 to 5. But if you don't want to go,
You can stream them, I believe, on YouTube
Yes.
with the MSUM page, so keep that in mind too. One headline that is not weather-related this morning. Today, a man accused of murder is going to be back in court. 35-year-old Jamal Ahmed is charged with second-degree murder. He's accused of killing 37-year-old Frankie Torres on July 24th near MSUM. He's facing up to 40 years in prison.
U.S. House members are scheduled to return to work today to figure out a plan to avoid a government shutdown, and the clock is ticking. A proposed bipartisan bill that House Speaker Mike Johnson negotiated this week is being scrapped. The decision came after President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance issued a joint statement blasting the proposal. The Biden White House says Republicans are playing politics over the funding issue, but tomorrow is the deadline to keep the government running, so we'll continue tracking that story for you.
Today on Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 2 North Dakota basketball standouts faced each other last night, but it was Alabama's Grant Nelson leading his team to a win. A recap of the big game, UND versus Alabama. It was up in Grand Forks. It looked like a really fun game. We had a good story on it this morning on First News, so that's fun. Dom's going to be talking about that. Plus, a recap of the Plus, Bison women's basketball, Jory Collins, the head coach, is joining the show to preview the team's matchup with Boise State. Watch it all on Hot Mic live from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra and on Inform.com.
And now's a great time to get that Inform.com subscription. It's your all-access pass to all these news, weather, and sports headlines. 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. Just go to Inform.com/subscribe to check out that deal.
If you haven't already done it, download that Storm Tracker weather app onto your phone as well. You can get all the latest updates on the weather conditions. Plus, stay with us on air for the rest of the day. We're having changing conditions. Our weather team's going to be all over it. Next newscast at 11, then 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. And we'll be back with First News tomorrow morning from 5 to 7. So be sure to join us then as well.
Stay safe out there.